Hello guys, when you see me recording a video wearing my pajamas, perhaps something huge is happening. And yes, that is a huge explosion in Sudzha of the Kursk region. You all know that a very important for the Russian economy gas metering station and gas pipeline was located there. I'm saying was because it is very likely that that huge explosion, potentially visible from the moon, as some Russians commented on social media, is because of the Ukrainian armed forces destroying that gas pipeline. Don't worry, all the European nations that were using Russian gas stopped doing that as of the January 2025. Sorry, Orban and Slovakia, but I am sure you will find another way. This is super important and another demonstration of Russia's weakness. They cannot protect strategic for their collapsing economy places. But that's good. My name is Anna, I'm from Ukraine, I'm in Ukraine, and if you want to see the defeat and demilitarization of Russia, the only working peace plan, subscribe, we discuss all of that on the channel. Many of you know that Kursk is a strategic region for Russia because of its pipeline. And Sudzha, the city that was controlled by the Ukrainian armed forces for quite a long period of time, and it was very difficult for the Russian army to try and take it back. It was very in the focus of all the attention because of that gas pipeline. Also, I had a video about the Russian soldiers trying to get there, but anyway, it was the main pipeline, the main transit pipeline of the Russian gas to Europe. I remember that name back in 2009. I was still at the university when Russia first started its gas wars against Ukraine. That was another, not yet military, but gas economic way to suppress Ukraine, and it was very cold everywhere. We did not have classes. So that is a very typical Russian attitude, and that's why I sincerely congratulate all the European nations that decided to give up on the Russian gas. It is not just your good civilized position, like not to support Russian bloody economy, but it is also the best solution for the safety and security of your people, of your nations, because Russia always uses these instruments as for blackmail, for terror, anything like that. Right now, there is a huge explosion visible from, I think, Ukraine and many other regions. And from the videos that Russians share online, and they are very not prepared for that, because in Ukraine we do not share videos like that. You can clearly see it was a gas pipeline and potentially that gas metering station. I think tomorrow we will have more news, but it's all over the internet here. And I was already in my bed, in my pajamas, scrolling. I know that's a bad habit, but I do that too. And here I see this beautiful, beautiful messages sent to the skies, and I felt the need to report. So let me tell you more facts about that Sudzha gas pipeline. It is the main gas pipeline, was the main gas pipeline that was used for the transit of the Russian gas. An alternative way is in Turkey, but nobody needs that. And by the way, I will connect here one of your favorite videos, which tells the story of Gazprom and how it was cancelled by Putin and the Russian war in Ukraine. Once the strongest, super rich Russian corporation now lost a lot. Almost like Elon Musk. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm more sarcastic after midnight. Please subscribe and share these videos on your social media platforms. That is very, very important. And subscribe to my new channel where I share more about civilian life in times of the big war, and a new video is coming on that channel tomorrow. So, Ukrainian armed forces are very careful to target only legitimate objects. And this attack on their gas pipeline happened exactly after a very brutal, very wrong Russian attack on the beautiful city of Odessa. They have sent a lot of drones, and I've read many people in Odessa reporting they could hear air defense working non-stop for hours, which is very impossible, that is really difficult. And this is like the center of the city. They have targeted a mall. This is what Russians do. I can name you like 1,000 locations which clearly prove they are war criminals. Ukraine, after all they have done to us, targets only legitimate objects. Like that military airfield in Engels. Remember to watch that video. It tells a lot, because that is a strategic Russian military airfield, and the explosions happened tonight. It's kind of very hot in Russia already. And they send bombers to Ukraine from that airfield, but not anymore. And doing that, we save hundreds, if not thousands, of Ukrainian lives. We are just defending ourselves. I'm surprised that after this 3 years of brutal Russian aggression that anyone can witness literally online, I still have to remind that if Ukraine stops fights, there is no Ukraine. If Russia stops fights, the war ends. It is that simple. Even Donald Trump can understand that. So Ukraine, as a responsible country, gave the European Union time to switch from the Russian gas, which is a victory for them too, and we stopped the transit. In January 2025, there are just 2 countries that could not stop buying the Russian gas, all because it's a part of their political leaders' campaigns, like cheap gas, for which they actually sell these countries, and that is Hungary and Slovakia. And I am very happy to see that people in Hungary and Slovakia are not satisfied with this super pro-Russian course of their politicians, of Orban and Fico. And I receive a lot of support from beautiful people of these countries. I have been both to Hungary and to Slovakia. I know how beautiful and European these countries are, and we have to stand united. You don't want back to behind the Iron Curtain. So let's stand together against this evil. So back in 2022, European initiative Repower EU started, and that's it. Nobody needs Russian gas. Gazprom is cancelled, same as the Kremlin will be cancelled, and we will see that. And I want to see the faces, of Orban, of Putin right now, because that is huge. And that is a beautiful message from the Ukrainian armed forces to the world, and even to Donald Trump. Russia can and will be defeated. I think tomorrow we will have more details, but from what we see right now, it is very likely that is once the most important Russian gas pipeline and the gas metering station. I wonder, when will the Kerch Bridge collapse? Because we need that. We need that. Trust me, you want to live in the world where Ukraine is victorious, not those evil people responsible for so many crimes against not just Ukraine. It's happening literally in every corner of the world. Join me on social media. The links are in the description of this video. Check our merch shop. There are lots of good items that work well as reminders and conversation starters about Ukraine, and we need that. Join the channel, share these videos on your social media platforms. It helps a lot. Many people get manipulated by Russian propaganda. Help me deliver the Ukrainian truth. Thank you for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons and sponsors of the channel. And most importantly, thank you for standing with Ukraine. In Ukrainian, good night is na dobranic. And of course, Slava Ukraini!